When I teach the New Testament to my undergraduates, a lot of them wonder, why didn't other people see these problems? You have contradictions and historical mistakes, and didn't ancient Christian scholars see these things? And the answer is a little bit complicated, because there absolutely were scholars in the early centuries of Christianity who realized that there were problems, especially with the Gospels, that there are places where they seem to disagree with each other. And different scholars had different ways of approaching that. One way to approach it was to try and reconcile them all, like modern people often do. One story will say one thing, one will say the opposite thing, and you somehow try to reconcile them. Other scholars in the early church actually said the reason there are contradictions is because God put the contradictions there so you'd realize that both statements can't be literally true, and that shows you have to understand these texts figuratively, spiritually rather than literally, which is not an acceptable solution to most modern Christians. There are other people who did what modern Christians do, many modern Christians do, which is simply not even notice. I find that most of the problems in the New Testament that I identify my students may have read this passage 100 times, and they simply haven't seen it until you point out, this doesn't work if that is true. They realize, they see that, they say, oh my God, why didn't I see that? Well, people don't see it because they're not expecting it. You often don't see what you don't expect.